The first Descendant is about to have its brand new Season 3 launch. I'm going to go over all the launch details as well as some insider information from Season 3. We'll look at launch times and patch info, as well as going over all the content that you'll see with Season 3, and a Day 1 game plan, what you should focus on for the first 2 to 3 hours, leading into a Week 1 priority, as well as settings you should tweak Day 1. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, World Utopia, here back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the first Descendant. So yeah, it has been a while since I've covered this game, but they are bringing back a lot with Season 3, and I'm definitely getting prepared to jump back in. So first up here, let's look into the launch time, what the patch info is going to look like. Right now, maintenance is actually set for tonight, so depending on when you're watching this video, it might have already gone live. That's happening at 10 p.m. Pacific time. That one is lasting all the way till 5 p.m. Pacific time, which does translate to 7 a.m. Central Time or 8 a.m. Eastern Time. That'll be when the launch actually does happen and maintenance has concluded. Of course, there could be some give or take there depending if there's any issues. However, more than likely it will launch around this time. Now, there are some features that are going to be here with 1.3. I'm going to deep dive into these, but just the main overview right now is the Axian Plains, which is the new zone. It is very open world-esque, so a lot less loading times between areas. You are getting a new bike or mount. There's also going to be something called trigger mods, which we will go into in a bit. There's the new Colossi, Wall Crusher, and Stormhanger. They've done a full sound system overhaul plus some balance changes. Again, I'm going to deep dive into each of these. We're first up here for the new content overview. We have a new zone. As I mentioned, Axian Plains. Free roam missions are there, drop zone, Colossi, and races, even with your mount. There's also an area where you can access that has a Wall Crusher field boss. This is essentially an arena queue where it does spawn at set times, and the fight does have a time limit. The demo currently showed 20 minutes, but that could be a different time set there. It also seemed like it might be on a 50-minute spawn timer. That could be a bit different with launch though. As it had mentioned, yes, this update does introduce some new vehicles. So there's 3 in total. They are hover bikes. There's Vortex, which has a better top speed. Orca has better handling, and Glide has the better air hang time. Although you can upgrade these bikes with missions via the drop zone materials. That includes, but not limited to, Axon alloy, wires, bearings, and even nuts. So eventually you're going to want to farm those to upgrade your actual hover bike, depending on what you choose, and more than likely you'll probably want to use Vortex to farm, where the other 2 will probably be used more than likely in the races. Although I'm sure it can vary there depending on how you upgrade. Now, they did add a new endgame mechanic here where I went over earlier called a trigger module. This is with the arcade system. That is going to be a new mod slot, but you can only get it once you hit 10 catalysts in total. You'll also need to use an energy activator or have had to use one. There's going to be something called an Arca 40 plus the refined Axion crystals. So some new materials tied to this actual Season 3. While you're trying to utilize this trigger module, you will get randomized stats plus a module roll for long-term grind goal. So that's going to be the new endgame mechanic there and something that you're applying to your current character. Again, obviously a lot of your current characters might already have near 10 catalysts in total. A lot of characters only really need 8 or 9. So if you are close on a few, I believe I am close on Volby as well, you can just snag out those last few to get 10, and that'll unlock that new mod slot. If you had any last minute farming to do before the maintenance and you're watching this video early, you can do that. With this new massive update, of course, there is a brand new Descendant. They have shown this one off quite significantly, that is Nell. They are a high DPS skill spammer mobber. This character does have a gun setup that you can do. However, from a lot of the other videos I've watched and just some mentions on Reddit, etc., they are kind of saying that it is a bit clunkier right now and that the gun-centric build just doesn't work. Of course, somebody might figure it out and more than likely it will probably be broken, but as of right now, it does seem like the skill spam is the way to go. There's also 2 brand new weapons. There's the Exterminator, which is an anti-pod/ship burst. There's also the Eraser Scout and Rifle. Either of these so far do seem to be somewhat mid-tier though, unless they do fine-tune their DPS or overall output. Seems like you more than likely might stick with what you already have. There's also some new mod/component sets here. The Dimension Destroyer, which adds the ability to cast drop critting meteors, and now Ricochet with firearm weak point that hits AoE and bounces. Also, if you haven't seen already, they are doing that collaborative skin with Nier Autonoma, which of course is the 2B and A2. Those will be available August 7th via the premium shop. They've done some extensive trailers with this, and they've showed this off a ton and a lot of the footage. Check that out here. I'll showcase a few of that and also include a link to the trailer. Guessing that one will be in high demand. Moving on here, as I mentioned, they did actually do an audio overhaul Now this one might have gone under the radar. A lot of these videos are actually unlisted, and this article is really only posted to their website. Well, this is DevNote Volume 17, Sound Improvement Details. As they mentioned, they have enhanced the overall detail of gun sounds to give each weapon its own unique texture and firing feel. I'll showcase a sound example or two here. They also did some sound option refinements, where you can adjust the weapon, hit, and vehicle sounds individually, as well as even system and item notifications, even the player character voice and quests. This also does extend to the music, but for copyright purposes, I'm not going to showcase that. Again, I will link down below to the article where you can view all of this, and check out those unlisted videos. I might be asking, what should my game plan be for day 1? Or at least the first few hours, how should I start the season and what should I get going? Now, originally it was thought that you needed Mastery Rank 18 in order to actually access Season 3 content. At least I saw some stuff on Reddit there, people were thinking that you needed that Mastery Rank. However, good to note here, you don't need any Mastery Rank to enter Season 3, or for any of the new story content, so there is no MR18 gate required. You can essentially access the Axian plans immediately. Upon doing so, you should unlock fast travel nodes and mission zones as early as possible. Speaking of missions, as soon as races pop up, you should do those because those will give you crystallization catalysts, which will be used to kickstart your upgrades in order to have those 10 in total. You can also farm drop zones, which are red beams, which will give you the mat upgrades for the bikes. It does seem like they'll give you the ability to pick your bike, but it does seem like Vortex won't be unlocked until later. And then, of course, because Wall Crusher is on a timer, you should queue that as soon as it goes live, as it is a group boss with gear drop chance, and it appears on a timer. Now, what about after that? You should have some Week 1 priorities, what you should accomplish during the beginning. Again, you're going to want to try to unlock your trigger slot. That's going to be that 10 catalyst, which refers back to the bike races, the energy activator, etc. You also want to focus on trying to get one bike to rank 10. Whether or not you do the Orca or even the Vortex that you get later on, you should focus that to get it to rank 10 so that you can get those better races, as the races will scale by your rank, and a full rank will equal easier time and better loot, meaning you'll get more catalysts. Of course, you want to farm those component sets, the Dimension Destroyer 4-piece for top tier AoE, and the Ricochet mod for the fun firearm build. This will also be the time to learn the Wall Crusher cycles, although more than likely someone will post the set times. Somebody will have some sort of website that will alert you. At first, it definitely will be better done by a group. Eventually, though, I'm sure you'll be able to farm by yourself. For some efficiency tips there, the loopholes for the Axian missions seem to be the same, so just picking the fastest node is definitely going to be efficient there. Someone will have some sort of guide up there, maybe I figure it out, but there will be something out letting you know which the fastest node is. More than likely, you're going to want to probably pick one of the mobbing descendants, Serena, Nell, or Freyna. That way you can get through packs very fast. I'm still going to start with Volby since I have her fully kitted. Of course, doing the open world Colossi and triggering the RNG layers for those box openings and the random modules, which gives you those stat rolls. As I also did mention with day 1, probably going to want to do some setting tweaks, at least mostly pertaining to the audio sliders. So I will look through those, check those out. There is that article where you can look through and detail those. Now, if you haven't seen already, you can also pre-register for Season 3. Every tier they hit above here, they actually do get some bonuses, which is the Crystallization Catalyst. Right now, you'll get 2 if you pre-register, as they have hit 200,000. That also does include 2 30-set bonus packs here, which for 3 days, you get some bonus XP for weapons and your character. Right now, they also are up to 5 million gold and 500,000 Kuiper shards. If it hits 400,000, that's going to get you a Transcendent module selection pack, all the way up to eventually getting a customizable gift pack. Again, I will include a link to the pre-registration pack where you can do so, and you do have until tonight, midnight PDT. With this update, we're also getting some additional cosmetics other than 2B. This one applies to Nell and Serena. Again, it seems like 2B and A2 can be applied to all characters. These ones are character specific though, where they are rocking the H1 racing suits, and they do say it arrives on August 7th with the update. There is one other last mentionable here. There is a lore guide for Guide. You can check out some of the stuff here if you wanted to see her origins and duties, which should gear you up and get ready for Season 3. Overall, it should about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, and subscribe, and until the next one, deuce!